भगवते वासुदेवाय। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नारायणं नमस्कृत्यं नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। नष्टप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवते उत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी। So today we are reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 7, Chapter 10, Prahlad, the best among the exalted devotees. Let's one. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, "My dear Prahlad, a devotee like you never desire any kind of material opulence, either in this life or in the next. Nonetheless, I order you to enjoy the opulence of the demons in this material world, setting as their king until the end of the duration of the time occupied by Manu." Text 12. It does not matter that you are in the material world, you should always continuously hear the instructions and the message given by me and always be observed in thoughts of me. For I am the super soul existing in the core of everyone's heart. Therefore, give up fruitive activities and worship me. Text 13. My dear Prahalad, while you are in this material world, you will exhaust all the reactions of the pious activity by feeling happiness, and by setting piously you will neutralize impious activity. Because of the powerful time factor, you will give up your body, but the glories of your activities will be sunk in the upper planetary system, and being fully freed from all the bondage, you will return home back to Godhead. Text 14. One who always remembers your activities and my activities also, and who chants the prayers you have offered, becomes free in due course of time from the reactions of the material activities. Text 15 to 17. Prahlad Maharaj said, "O Supreme Lord, because you are so merciful to the fallen souls, I ask you for only one benediction. I know that my father, at the time of his death, had already been purified by your glance upon him. But, but because of his ignorance of your beautiful power and supremacy, he was unnecessarily angry at you, falsely thinking that you were the killer of his brother. Thus, he directly blasphemed your lordship, the spiritual master of all living beings, and committed heavily sinful activities directed against me, your devotee. I wish that he be excused for these sinful activities." Text 18. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, "My dear Prahlad, O most pure, O great saintly person, your father has been purified along with the 21 forefathers in your family. Because you were born in this family, the entire dynasty has been purified." Text 19. Whenever, whenever and wherever there are peaceful, equiposed devotees who are well behaved and decorated with all good qualities, that place and the dynasty there, even if the condemned are purified. Text 21. My dear Prahalad, the king of Daityas, because of being attached to the devotional service to me, my devotee does not distinguish between the lower and the higher living entities. In all respects, he is never jealous of anyone. Text.
Oh, sorry, it's more than
One
20.
more text.
One more text? Okay,
21st,
sure.
Prabhuji. Yeah,
Sure.
no
Thank you.
problem. Text 21. Those who follow your example will naturally become my pure devotee. You are the best example of my devotee, and others should follow in your footsteps. Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Yeah, thank you so much, Mate. Hare Krishna. Yeah, Vamsi Prabhu, when you're ready, you can continue, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. Thank you,
I
Prabhuji.
think so. We can make him
I'm not
co-host.
able to share, Prabhu.
Sure. I'll make you co-host, Prabhuji. Yeah, you can share now, Prabhuji.
Thank you. Start with Mangalacharan. ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय नारायणं नमस्कृत्यं नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत् नष्टप्रायेष्वभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवतीरुत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टकी ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूप कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम् वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरुं वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातां सहगना रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगना ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च हे कृष्ण करुणा सिन्धु दीनबन्धु जगत्पते गोपेशा गोपिका कान्त श्रीराधा कान्त नमोऽस्तु ते तप्त काञ्चन गौराङ्गी श्रीराधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधार श्रीवासादि गौरभक्तवृंद जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधार श्रीवासादि गौरभक्तवृंद जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधार श्रीवासादि गौरभक्तवृंद हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा Thank you, Sunanda Prabhuji, for giving us this opportunity to study Srimad Bhagavatam and purify ourselves. It is mentioned in Srimad Bhagavatam that there are three side effects of serving Srimad Bhagavatam. The personality who is trying to repeat the words of the Acharyas gets purified. The devotees who are hearing Srimad Bhagavatam submissively also get purified, and people in general who are hearing also get purified. So I am considering this as an opportunity to be purified by rendering service to Srimad Bhagavatam. So in text 11, we are going to see that Lord Sri Narasimhadev is going to respond to all the series of prayers that Sri Prahlad Maharaj has spoken now. So in text 11, Lord Narasimhadev is responding, my dear Prahlad, a devotee like you never desires any kind of material opulences either in this life or in the next. Nonetheless, I order you to enjoy the opulence of the demons in this material world, acting as their king until the end of the duration of the time occupied by Manu. Srila Prabhupada writes in the purport, because Prahlad Maharaj was a devotee, the Lord allowed him to enjoy material opulence as the king of the materialist. Prahlad Maharaj had taken birth in the family of Hiranyakashipu, was a topmost materialist, And since Prahlad was the bona fide heir of his father, the Supreme Lord allowed him to enjoy the kingdom created by his father for so many years that no materialist could even calculate them, because it's mentioned the duration of Manu. And Srila Prabhupada writes, one Manu lives for duration of 71 Yuga cycles, each of which is equal to 4,300,000 years. Srila Prabhupada writes a very interesting point. A devotee does not have to desire for material opulence, but if he is a pure devotee, there is an ample opportunity for him to enjoy material happiness also without personal endeavor. Krishna is Swarat, and he will decide what is needed for a devotee. If he wants to take something from the devotee to purify the devotee, Krishna will do. And if he knows that the devotee, even if I give so much material opulence, he or she is not attached to it, and he will still be fixed up in performing bhakti towards me, Krishna will give facilities for the devotee also. So we have several examples throughout Srimad Bhagavatam and even Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita where the devotees are opulent. But if we see from an external point of view and try to judge a devotee, it becomes an offense. So Srila Prabhupada is making a very important point here. If he is a pure devotee, there is an ample opportunity for him to enjoy material happiness, which means we need to strive for pure bhakti under the guidance of bona fide spiritual master. Because unless and until we are guided by a bona fide guru, it is not possible for us to be materially detached at the same time when Krishna is giving facilities in our life, because it becomes a big distraction for us in our life. If we have so much facilities, it is natural for a conditioned soul like us to enjoy the facilities that we have. It is natural, because as jivas, we are anandamayo abhyasa. We want to enjoy. That is our nature. We cannot change our nature. Either we want to enjoy giving happiness to Krishna, that is also enjoyment. Because Sri Prahlad Maharaj says, it is like we are looking at a mirror. By performing bhakti, Krishna gives happiness for us. We cannot remain morose while practicing bhakti. It's natural for us to feel happy and blissful while performing bhakti. So unless and until we are guided by a bona fide guru and aspiring for pure bhakti, material opulence is a distraction. So that is why Srila Prabhupada is stating, if he is a pure devotee, therefore everyone is advised to take to devotional service under all circumstances. If one desires material opulence, he can also become a pure devotee and his desires all be fulfilled. And Srila Prabhupada quotes, Akama sarva kamo va moksha kama udaradi tibrena bhakti yogena yajeta purusham param. Whether one has desire, when one desires everything or nothing, or whether he desires to merge into existence of the Lord, he is intelligent only if he worships Lord Shri Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, by rendering loving devotional service. In text 12, it does not matter, Lord Narasimhadev continues, it does not matter that you are in the material world. You should always continuously hear the instructions and messages given by me and always be absorbed in thought of me. For I am the super soul existing in the core of everyone's heart. So Lord Narasimhadev is telling, okay, I am giving you facilities to enjoy this material world, but what we should be doing? Prahlad Maharaj, Srila Prabhupada writes in the purport, when a devotee becomes materially very opulent, one should not think that he is enjoying the result of his activities, fruitive activities. That Srila Prabhupada mentioned, right? Because, see, His Grace Radhesham Prabhuji often mentions that whenever Srila Prabhupada writes devotee in his purport, it means pure devotee. Not a conditioned soul like us, like myself. A devotee in this material world uses all material opulences for the service of the Lord because he is planning how to serve the Lord with these opulences. There is no question of sense gratification for a pure devotee. They want to use every single paisa to serve the Lord and the Vaishnavas as advised by the Lord himself. Whatever material opulence is within his possession, he engages to expand the glories and service of the Lord. A devotee never performs fruitive or ritualistic ceremony to enjoy the results of karma. And Srila Prabhupada quotes Srila Narottama Das Thakur, Karma Kanda, Jnana Kanda, Kevele Vishare Banda. Both Karma Kanda and Jnana Kanda, fruitive activities and speculation about the Supreme Lord, are like pots of poison because it consumes our consciousness. Srila Sukadeva Goswami mentions in the second canto, what is the point of living so many years if you are not able to remember the Supreme Lord even for a moment? Many people in this world are so proud. I am living for 70, 80, 90, 100 years. But if you are not able to remember Krishna even for a moment, Srila Sukadeva Goswami mentions, it is useless waste of time. That is what Karma Kanda and Jnana Kanda does, because Karma Kanda people want to be happy in this world by living so long years, by performing breathing exercises or whatnot in this world. They want to live in this world for as long as possible, stretch as long as possible, so that they can enjoy their senses. But Srila Narottama Das Thakur says, Karma Kanda, Jnana Kanda, Kevala Vishera Bhanda. It's poisonous because it consumes our consciousness and we will forget Krishna. And that is the last thing a devotee wants. One who's attracted to Karma Kanda and Jnana Kanda spoils his existence as human being. Therefore, a devotee is never interested in Karma Kanda or Jnana Kanda, but is simply interested in favorable service to Lord Krishna. Anukulyena Krishna Anushilanam Bhakti Uttama. Uttama Bhakti is to give pleasure to Krishna. What will please Krishna? Anything and everything we do, we have to ask this to ourselves. Will this please Krishna? And at a conditioned stage, we do not know that. And we have to accept that. When we accept, my Guru Maharaj says, when we accept that I am conditioned, that is where bhakti actually begins. Because as long as we think that I am advanced, I've figured it out myself, I know what books I need to read, we are finished. Bhakti doesn't begin. Krishna Anushilanam comes through the guidance of a bona fide spiritual master. Guru will tell us how to perform Krishna Anushilanam Bhakti. The instructions of Guru will guide us what to do and what not to do. Pratikulyasya Varjanam, Anukulyasya Sankalpa, Pratikulyasya Varjanam. If we can understand these two things, these two limbs of bhakti, then Uttama Bhakti begins. Because we need to first accept the things that are favorable for Uttama Bhakti, and we have to reject, completely reject, that are things that are unfavorable for Bhakti. And Srila Prabhupada guides us throughout his purpose, what is favorable and what is unfavorable. And without reservation, we have to reject things which are unfavorable for Bhakti, because it will not please Krishna. In the end, everything has to please Krishna, whatever we do in the name of Bhakti. Right? So that is why Srila Prabhupada is writing, we are simply interested in providing favorable service to Krishna. Krishna Anushilanam. And text 13, my dear Prahlad, while you are in this material world, you will exhaust all the reactions of pious activity by feeling happiness. And by acting piously, you will neutralize impious activity. Because of the powerful time factor, you will give up your body, but the glories of your activities will be sung in the upper planetary systems, and being fully freed from all bondage, you will return home back to Godhead. Srila Prabhupada writes very interesting purport. Quoting Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, Srila Prabhupada writes, there are two classes of devotees, Sadhana Siddha and Nitya Siddha. The Prahlad Maharaj is a mixed Siddha. Why mixed means? Because he is eternally liberated soul also, but he is also existing in the material world. If you remember His Grace Yugal Kishore Prabhu, he mentioned three kinds of pure devotees. One is the Nitya Siddha, who is always with Krishna, and the second is who is having one step in the spiritual world, but he is also in this material world to bring the conditioned souls back home, back to Godhead. That is Sri Prahlad Maharaj here. Because of executing devotional service and partly because of eternal perfection. Thus, he is compared to such devotees as Srila Narad Muni. Even Srila Narad Muni is eternally liberated. He is always in the spiritual world, but he is also in the material world to assist bringing the conditioned souls back home, back to Godhead. Formerly, Srila Narad Muni was the son of a maid servant, and therefore, in his next life, he attained perfection, sadhana siddhi, because of having executed devotional service. Yet, he is also Nitya Siddha, because he never forgets the Supreme Personality of God. Nitya Siddha means they never forget Krishna. Srila Prabhupada writes in one purport in Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita. Prabhupada also said once to his disciple, there was never a point that I never forgot Krishna. This is Prabhupada's words, which means Srila Prabhupada is a Nitya Siddha. He is not of this world. One should live in this material world very expertly, Srila Prabhupada said. The material world is known as a world of duality because one sometimes has to act impiously and sometimes has to act piously. Although one does not want to act impiously, the world is so fashioned that there is always danger. Padam padam yad vipadam na tesham. This world is a very precarious place. We should not feel comfortable in this world. Srila Prabhupada says, he quotes his Guru Maharaj, Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada. He says that this world is not a place for a perfect gentleman. And the more we are convinced about this statement, the more we will want to get closer to Krishna. Thus, even when performing bhakti, a devotee has to create many enemies. Prahlad Maharaj himself had experience of this, for even his father became his enemy. Srila Prabhupada says, if somebody really truly wants to become Krishna conscious, there will be so many enemies for him. A devotee should expertly manage to think always of the Supreme Lord Krishna so that the reactions of suffering cannot touch him. This is the expert management of Papa Punya, pious and impious activities. An exalted devotee like Sri Prahlad Maharaj is a Jivan Mukta. He is liberated even in this very life in the material body. So when we see exalted personalities in this material world, like so many of Srila Prabhupada's disciples who are still living in this world, we should not have a material vision. They may have imperfections on their body. They may be very old in their ripe 70s or 80s. But Srila Prabhupada is writing, they are Jivan Mukta. Prabhupada will explain that in the next purport. Jivan Mukta means they are liberated. Just like Sri Prahlad Maharaj, they already have one step in the spiritual world. They are still living on this planet to attract the conditioned souls. In text 14, one who always remembers your activities, my activities also, and who chants the prayers you have offered becomes free in due course of time from the reactions of material activities. Spalashruti of reciting Sri Prahlad Maharaj's prayers. And Srila Prabhupada writes in the purport that, later in the purport, Srila Prabhupada writes, a devotee should not be aggrieved in any awkward position, nor should he feel extraordinarily happy in material opulence. So even though we may get, by the grace of Krishna and Guru, some material opulence, we should not feel extraordinarily happy. Because otherwise then we are comfortable we have to be inwardly detached. Like Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu advised Srila Rupa Goswami and Srila Sanatan Goswami, who wrote several letters to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu when they were the ministers of King Nawab. And they wanted to get out of that situation. My Guru Maharaj says, the Goswamis, Srila Rupa Goswami and Srila Sanatan Goswami, who are ministers, they were so Krishna conscious even while being ministers. So many wonderful pastimes are there even when they were ministers. So as soon as they heard about the glories of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, they wanted to give up their position and go and serve Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. They wrote so many letters. But Mahaprabhu wrote only one response after many letters. And then he writes that do your duty by being internally detached. Just like a prostitute would serve her husband even though she is very much attached to her paramour. And that is what Srila Prabhupada is writing here. We should not feel extraordinarily happy. Even by Krishna's grace, we have some material opulence. And Srila Prabhupada gives purport to the previous purport. Who is a Jivan Mukta? Jivan Mukta is Iha yasya Haredasya Karmana Manasa Gira Nikilaswa Api Avastasu Jivan Mukta Sa Uchate. A person acting in Krishna consciousness with his body, mind, intelligence, and words is a liberated person even within this material world, although he may be engaged in so many so-called material activities. Because of constantly engaging in bhakti in any condition of life, a devotee is free from all material bondage. See, any condition of life, Srila Prabhupada stating, which means, like Srila Prabhupada mentions, even if we have awkward positions in our life, extraordinarily happy situations, our bhakti should not slacken. Our bhakti should be consistently moving closer to Krishna under the guidance of a bona fide spiritual master. Because Srila Prabhupada is stating body, mind, and intelligence, not possible by ourselves. We cannot do this by ourselves. Giving body, mind, and intelligence, at the time of initiation, what we do, we are actually promising in front of all the Vaishnavas, in front of Guru, in front of Krishna, that I am sold out to you, meaning body, mind, and intelligence. This Srila Prabhupada writes in Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita in a purport. Initiation means giving our body, mind, and our intelligence, not having any separate agendas. Everything for the service of Guru and Krishna. And in text 15 and 17, this is a wonderful verse that this shows Sri Prahlad Maharaj is a great Mahabhagavad devotee, only a Mahabhagavad devotee like Sri Prahlad Maharaj. And we saw in this material world, like Srila Prabhupada and many of his disciples have this quality, that he is praying, I wish that my father be excused for his sinful activities. I mean, who will pray? The person who has vowed to kill you all your life and give you so much trouble and anxiety in your life. And Sri Prahlad Maharaj is praying, Srila Prabhupada is writing in the purport, Sri Prahlad Maharaj offered this prayer to the Lord for the sake of his father. As a Vaishnava son, despite all the inconveniences imposed upon him by his father, he could not forget his father's affection. Very interesting, right? Which means a devotee is not, what to say, what is that word? Devotee is always sensitive. One lesson we can learn from this prayer, devotee is sensitive. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, when he was with his devotees and when Mahaprabhu was vouching to go to Vrindavan Dham, so many times he wanted to go to Vrindavan Dham after taking sannyas. But his devotees will always, out of pure love and affection, they will give some reason. Oh Mahaprabhu, Rath Yatra is coming. Oh Mahaprabhu, Dol Yatra is coming. Like this, they will give, oh, this festival, one festival after another festival. After this festival, you can go. Not now. So Mahaprabhu was so sensitive to his devotees that I don't want to hurt their feelings. Let them, with their heart, give me blessings, then I will go to Vrindavan. Very sensitive. Mahaprabhu shows that a devotee means we have to be sensitive. We have to learn to be sensitive. And Prahlad Maharaj is extremely sensitive here and he's praying for his father's happiness. I mean, he is not materially attached here because Prahlad Maharaj is seeing the soul. A Mahabhagavat is seeing the soul in everyone. We saw, right, Uttam Adhikari, like Srila Prabhupada and many of his disciples simply see the pure soul within everyone. Right? Stavara Jangama Deke Nadeke Tara Murti Sarvatra Haya Ishtadeva Spurti. Sarvatra Haya Ishtadeva Spurti. They are seeing their Ishtadev in everyone. All the Mahabhagavat pure devotees living in this world still. Very rare to find pure devotees. That is why. But if we find such pure devotees, we have to hear from them and we have to render service to them. And another lesson we can learn from this prayer of Sri Prahlad Maharaj is, I wish that he be excused for his sinful activities. Prahlad Maharaj is praying, which means that because we are conditioned souls, we are bound to make mistakes, we are bound to make offenses and perform sinful activities until we are completely purified. The only way of getting out of this is when a pure devotee prays for us. There is no other way. Throughout our scriptures, we see this. Unless and until a pure devotee prays for us, which means we have to first feel remorseful. Here, Hiranyakashipu was not even remorseful. But because Prahlad Maharaj had so much, compassion for fallen conditioned souls in this world, he is praying. Just like Vasudev Datta prayed, let all the sins of all the conditioned souls in this universe come on my head and let them all be liberated to the spiritual world. The same Prahlad Maharaj comes as Vasudev Datta in Mahaprabhu's Leela. Exactly the same prayer he is praying there. Right? Only when a pure devotee prays for us, our sinful activities are removed. And that is when we can practice Dhrida Bhakti. Yesham tva antagatam papam jananam punya karmanam te dvandva moha nirmukto bhajate mam Dhrida Vrata. Dhrida Bhakti can be performed only when our sinful activities are removed. And that is possible only when a pure devotee prays for us. So we have to seek in our life. And in text 18, Lord Narasimhadev prays, my dear Lord, my dear Prahlad, O most pure, O great saintly person, your father has been purified along with 21 fathers, forefathers in your family. Because you were born in this family, the entire dynasty has been purified. Benedictions. Sri Prahlad Maharaj is saying that Krishna is Varadaraj. He wants to give benedictions to his devotees, always. Right? Always he wants to give benedictions. And Srila Prabhupada writes in the purport that in one's family, one can count 4 to 5 generations to one's great-grandfather or even one's great-great-grandfather, fathers. But since the Lord mentions 21 forefathers, this indicates that the benediction expands to other families also. That some generations and generations and generations that we don't even have any clue. Before the present family in which one has taken birth, one must have been born in other families. Thus, when a Vaishnava takes birth in a family, by the grace of the Lord, he purifies not only the current present family, but also the families of his previous births. My Guru Maharaj, he mentions in one class that all of us love our family members and extended family members. He mentions, if you truly love, if you truly want to give something back to your family, if you truly want to give something to your father, if you truly love your uncles and aunties and extended family members, strive to become a pure devotee in this life. This is what all the great personalities are inspiring, trying to inspire everyone in this world. That is the only way to pay back. There is no other way we can pay back. Not by giving them facilities of this world, not by buying an iPhone, not by giving them big cars and big homes. Not possible to pay back. Bhagavatam explains that we owe not only to forefathers, to devatas, to so many personalities in this world, that is impossible for us to pay back unless and until we are striving towards Krishna through Uttama Bhakti. Otherwise, it is not possible. In text 19, whenever and wherever there are peaceful, equipoised devotees who are well behaved and decorated with all good qualities, that place and dynasty is there, even if condemned or purified. Srila Prabhupada gives the importance of the presence of pure devotees. Sadhu Sangha is coming. So many pure devotees will be there. Simply by being in that place, one will be so purified. Many of us have that experience, that simply by being in the presence of pure devotees, it feels so much uplifting. And in text 20, my dear Prahlad Maharaj, king of the Daityas, because of being attached to devotional service unto me, my devotee does not distinguish between living lower and higher living entities. In all respects, he is never jealous to anyone. First, a pure devotee like Sri Prahlad Maharaj, a Mahabhaga devotee, Nitya Siddha, he is not interested in being wherever Krishna wants, they are fine to be there. And he is never jealous of anyone. This is a sign of a Mahabhaga devotee. There is no enviousness, there is no jealousy. And when we find such personalities, we have to seek their association. Never jealous to anyone. Because all these anarthas are there within our heart. And in text 21, those who follow your example will naturally become my pure devotees. You are the best example of my devotee, and others should follow in your footsteps. And Srila Prabhupada writes in the purport, of all the 12 Mahajans, that is quoted in Srimad Bhagavatam, beginning from Lord Brahma, Srila Narad Muni, Lord Shiva, Kapila, Manu, and so on, Prahlad Maharaj is understood to be the best example. That is why Sri Prahlad Maharaj's Charitra or pastime, several chapters in the 7th canto. Because he is the one of Srila Prabhupada's statement, we cannot deny it. He is understood to be the best example. So anyone who follows Sri Prahlad Maharaj also becomes the pure devotee. This benediction is given by Sri Narasimhadev, right? It's something that we have to etch within our hearts. The only way to perform pure bhakti is to follow in the footsteps of the Mahajans. Mahajano yena gata sapanta. There is no other way. We cannot imitate and try to perform bhakti by our own concoction. I'll stop here. Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Ananta Koti Vaishnav Vrinda ki jai. Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.